You were one of 63 AP teachers who piloted AP African American Studies.
We are a real family. We
I
call
bet.
ourselves the OG 60. Yeah. First and foremost, I'm an advocate for educators. I stand on that after having led 10 different APSIs across the country in 3 years. I hope that I've been able to serve, give back. I'm a big fan of project-based learning. So that allows our kids to show creativity and design things. These soft skills are transferable.
Yeah.
They transfer to every AP course, but also to your professional life.
Welcome to From Classroom to Campus, the podcast where we dive into the ever-evolving world of education. Our mission is simple. We spotlight the incredible work happening in schools and celebrate the passionate educators who make it all possible. This is episode number 12, Challenging Teachers and Students to Think Bigger, Carl Brown's AP Journey. I am your host, Philip Bates. Joining us today, as always, is the wonderful Megan Blessing. Hello, Megan.
Hello, Philip. What's up?
What's up, my friend? So you do not want to miss the end of this episode because Megan's going to help us out and she's going to show you how committed we are to getting subscribers. So at the end of the episode, you will, of course, hear that and you don't want to miss that. So,
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. All right. So my guest today taught several AP courses at a very high level. Along the way, he's mastered the art of pushing students to clear a high bar while also giving them support to actually get there, which is no small feat. Outside the classroom, he's trained teachers at AP Summer Institutes, he's spoken at national conferences, and he's become a go-to consultant for the College Board. In short, if it involves AP, he's probably been there, done that, and helped somebody else do it better. So please welcome to the show, Mr. Carl Brown.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you so much for the introduction. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Well, hey, you worked your tail off all day teaching, so the fact that you showed up is pretty fantastic. We appreciate that.
This is true. Yes, sir.
Well, what we love to do with our guests is we love to help them connect with you really quickly. So I've got some hook, line, and thinker questions for you. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. So question number one, what's the most surprising thing a student has taught you?
Well, honestly, after 15 years now in education at the AP level, I'm always just wowed by their creativity. And students are always fascinated to kind of show you how smart they are. And I enjoy those that banter and that debate. I would say for me, when it comes to their creativity, especially over global issues or worldly things, our kids are very enlightened and they get us to think from many different layers of deep thought.
Yeah. You guys probably talk about, obviously, political things that are happening every single day. And there's a lot going on in the world. How do you kind of navigate talking about those things and keeping kind of your views to yourself? Because you're not really putting your views per se. You're more kind of helping them kind of figure out what their views are on things. How does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really dive deep into heavy political conversations, but I like to use a model known as the ESPN model for AP Human Geography, especially. We look at environmental issues, political issues, social issues, and N for environmental issues. So,
Nice.
and it's just it teases how they want to frame any conversation and look at multiple layers of, how does this impact our economy, or whether this is a policy made that impacts our local culture right here in our area.
So when the guys in the class first hear you say, okay, we're going to do the ESPN model, they probably get real excited about like sports stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's
Absolutely.
What is the ESPN method?
So it's just a graphic organizer. It's a fancy graphic organizer, but each frame has a different level of those issues: economic on one side, social on the other,
Got it.
political, and then the environment. And I think it's just a beautiful model that's kind of been in rotation for years in education. But it really works for our AP Gov kids, for AP World History kids, and of course for AP Human Geography.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's one tech tool or resource you can't imagine teaching without?
Yeah. So, we've kind of transitioned now to Canvas. Started off with Google Classroom. Just got to have it. It's a beautiful learning management platform. I've used quite a few over the years, but a good old fashioned laptop or desktop with that learning management system, it cross checks everything and it nicely compacts, the learning, and it's fully transparent for our kids.
And everybody's got a Chromebook.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In my district, they do.
Yeah. Yeah. And as far as them finding internet connections, either at home or other places, how does that work out for them?
It's been sufficient for the most part. Not too many issues, or we try to find ways to troubleshoot if there is any Wi-Fi connecting issues. We have a great tech department, and of course, there's going to be some hiccups here and there, but by and large, I think we make it work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. If you could design a new AP course from scratch, what would it be?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I've had conversations with College Board about a potential AP sociology course.
Okay.
AP psychology.
Yeah, they've got
I've taught
psychology.
that for years. And I love any kind of like social science. And I feel that sociology, which is just another social science, but it teaches us how to cooperate together, I feel that we kind of need that more than ever in certain, eras throughout time. But AP sociology pairing well with AP psychology, to me, would be a nice cohort.
Yeah. So when you've reached out to College Board about that course, the interest there, you think?
A little feedback here and there, but it just comes down to numbers and stats and data and kind of the direction that they want to go in.
Yeah,
so we trust that.
Yeah, because they expand their courses, but they're not, College Board is really good about not adding a bunch of courses quickly. It's kind of a slow kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a process like anything else. And there's a whole analysis of what works and feedback. Even with me, with piloting AP African American Studies, there was prior feedback years in advance before they rolled it out in 2022.
Yeah. It's like any big, large, giant ship. They don't move quickly. They kind of do a lot of research and stuff before they fully kind of commit to something. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
It makes sense. All right, so let's get into kind of our main questions. I always love to hear about people's kind of education origin story. How'd you get into education?
First and foremost, I want to really give homage and respect to my parents. My mother, she's been a teacher for 30 plus years.
Wow.
My grandmother, a principal and a teacher, traditional elementary teacher from Mississippi. So, you have to kind of rewind time to the age of Jim Crow and segregation. And she was an educator at this time period, with that dynamic. My father, retired police officer. So we serve people. This is what we do. And so I stand on their legacy, first and foremost. So hearing their stories, seeing their presence and their professionalism has inspired me to go down that path as well. Throughout college, undergrad, definitely tried some other majors, kind of was inspired by advertising at one point, by marketing, communications major. But I think at my core, being a history teacher, being a social science teacher was always kind of in my rear view, but also the front view mirror as well.
Yeah.
So I accepted it right in the heart of the recession way back in 08, 09.
Yeah.
Tough times.
Yep.
And with the grace of God, it all worked out.
I think what people don't understand is during recessions, that's when everybody flocks to teaching.
It
And
did.
so you went into teaching when everybody wanted to technically be a teacher because maybe they're doing other careers and they're struggling to find jobs. And that was a harder time to get into teaching.
It was extremely competitive at that time because you had people who were just trying to survive and just trying to, find a job, find income. But me, that was my career goal,
it's your passion.
at that time. And I actually had a conversation with a young man who's a new teacher this year. And he was asking me, how long have you been in the business? I said, yeah, I've been in since then, and it's been a marathon.
Yeah.
Of course, there's peaks and valleys, but way more good days than bad days.
100%.
Yeah.
So do you remember the moment where you sat down with your family, your mom, your dad, and let them know you're going to be a teacher?
Yeah. I remember just having conversations with them kind of like as a fresh undergrad, finishing college and and they were kind of trying to figure out, okay, so now you got to make money. What's the plan? What's the goal? And they kind of already saw me like subbing. I was substitute teaching at that time.
Gotcha.
So I kind of got my feet wet then, 08, 09.
Yeah.
And then, the contract came and we committed.
That's awesome. So you've taught a wide range of AP courses. I don't know. I mean, we definitely have not had a guest on that have taught this wide range of courses: psychology, human geography, government, African-American studies, all these disciplines. How does your teaching style change as you move from one course to the next?
Yeah. So I like the diversity of preps, having different preps. Of course, the age levels change, and it creates a different dichotomy of trying to be relatable, trying to deliver things. And of course, the key word these days is differentiate, with
Sure.
instruction. So that's been a challenge for sure. But I do enjoy just, having different types of contents to spin off of. So for example, with my AP Human Geography kids, they're all freshmen.
Yeah.
So these are 14, 15-year-old kids, but we meet them where they are. They're in like the prove it phase. They want to prove to you that they're
Their
smart.
first AP class.
Yeah, that their first high school experience.
Sure.
And that's good, but we guide them and temper, certain expectations throughout the whole year. Versus my AP Psychology kids, and ironically, some who have me for AP Human, they end up taking me again because maybe they like my style or they appreciate, just the energy that we bring. So for AP Psych, it's a semester course, and this is all cognitive thinking. And many of those kids, they're inspired to maybe know more about their own mental health or, ways to learn more about the biological bases of the brain or cognition or why we are conditioned to behave a certain way. So, we can challenge them on a whole nother level, For AP Gov, these are seniors. I mean, most of them will probably be future lawyers or somewhere on that level. They have this passion for politics. So, those conversations, that rich dialogue looks vastly different as well. Yeah. So I enjoy that aspect, but at the same time, it can be cumbersome and tiring at the same time.
Are there days where you're looking forward to seeing your freshmen and days you're looking forward to seeing maybe your upperclassmen?
Well, with my schedule this year, I kind of have like a little bit of a mixture. So I may have one period where there's freshmen and the next period will be older kids.
Got it.
And then even not to mention like with the AP African American Studies kids, that's a hybrid of all kids. So I have sophomores, juniors, and seniors in that class. So, and that of course raises some challenges, but I do have certain kids who are, true role models because they're older and they've been through the gauntlet of other AP courses. So it's fascinating.
So your freshmen that come in, first AP class, they've never taken, typically your AP Human kids are kids that have gotten straight A's. They've really performed well.
Yeah.
They step into AP Human. There's a lot of reading to that course. Some of them kind of fall on their face initially. How do you kind of help them go, hey, this doesn't mean you're not intelligent. This doesn't mean you're not a good student. This is just an AP course.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I mean, I think, what happens often with freshmen is, you've always been, a straight A kid, like you mentioned. They've always been elite. They've always been the best. And we just challenge them to really commit to the overall AP experience. Like this is just one AP course. It will build you up, but it will also break you down and expose, how you want to prepare and get through this for the next 4 years. Because we hope the goal is to stay on the AP path, not just, be done because it was too much. So we have certain benchmarks and checkpoints throughout the year to maybe alleviate some of the stress. But also, I'm a big fan of project-based learning, PBLs. So that allows our kids to show different, creativity and design things and maybe even showcase a different talent besides good old-fashioned formative and summative assessments.
Yeah, love that. So let's dive into African-American studies a little bit. You're not going to brag on yourself, but I get to because I'm the host and I get to do all this kind of stuff. You are one of 63 AP teachers who piloted nationwide AP African-American studies. That's huge. That's awesome. What did that experience mean to you? And then now in your like AP consultant role with that course, what all that mean to you?
Yeah, it's been an amazing blessing, extremely valuable experience. I was lucky to kind of be in this role. African American Studies has been part of Texas, the TEACs, since 2019. Actually, a lot of people may or may not know that. Yeah. But to be kind of selected and pushed to pursue it, I kind of put my name out there and said, hey, I have AP experience. I've taken some undergrad and grad courses related to African American diaspora movements or even political thought on that level with interdisciplinary courses. So when 2022 came around and the opportunity was there, I just kind of grabbed it. And I was one of 2 Texas teachers. I have a dear colleague in Houston,
nice,
who was also selected to pilot the course in South Texas, and then myself here in North Texas. They flew us out to Howard University in Washington, D.C., along with the other amazing professionals from across the country. And we are a real family. We call ourselves the OG 60. Yeah.
I love that.
It's a real family. We stay in contact to this very day and share resources, ideas. It's just really, it's a true brotherhood and sisterhood.
Sure.
So honored to be in that family.
There's probably, fun pressure, but probably some pressure on that group of 60 to make sure that everything went well and that it was ready to go for kind of the general teaching folks. Yeah.
I mean, we always say we had to build the plane while we're flying it.
I love that.
And it was definitely a challenging year. And then, things kind of got a little controversial at some points. But we've survived. And then since then, I would say at least maybe half of us are consultants to this day. And I've always believed that first and foremost, I'm an advocate for educators. I stand on that and definitely want to make sure educators get the resources and the support that they need. And now after having basically led 10 different APSIs across the country in 3 years, I hope that I've been able to serve those teachers. Give back. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
So, Carl, what I love is you brought things. It's like a show and tell podcast.
Absolutely.
So tell me about these amazing masks.
Yeah, so Unit 1 of AP African American Studies, we do our big African American Studies or African Kingdoms project. So African Kingdoms and Empires. And one big thing that really just kind of took off over the past couple of years are our students have to design a mask related to their kingdom that they selected.
Sure.
So we have of course, the main 6 African kingdoms that we really focus on: the Great Zimbabwe Empire, the Ghana Kingdom, the Mali, Songhai, the Axum Empire, and the Kingdom of Congo. So we ask our students to first design a digital poster over their kingdom, and they have to have facts and, of course, images, and then a map of where that kingdom was once located at, and then ultimately build a mask that is related to their kingdom. But of course, they can add their own flair and spice and swag, to the mask. So I just have some samples here. I'm so proud of these.
I'm sure they're super proud of them.
Every APSI, I try to bring some samples with me just to showcase, what my kids are capable of. And of course, other teachers across the country do the same thing.
So is that project within the course, or is it something that you kind of added to enhance the course?
This is actually my baby. I created this project with the poster, and then the mask is just kind of taking a whole life of its own.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, this was one of my go-tos with Unit 1 to kind of introduce the course, and it sets the tone for, what our kids are capable of. And now, I would say nationwide, it's been embraced, and you just some magnificent masks.
I'm sure
that are being done.
I mean, these are intricate, and it is hard to create art like this on not an even surface.
Yeah, it's paper mache. I mean, and
amazing.
And a lot of them just use basic markers. Some kids do get a little fancy, and they bring in some their own colored stencils and all that. And we've seen a lot of different designs over the past couple of years now.
Awesome. Well, thanks for bringing these in. So let's brag on Garland ISD. That is your professional home.
It is.
Garland ISD, amazing district. CCMR, Megan, you're about to ask me what CCMR is.
Yeah, what is CCMR?
Okay, so college, career, military, readiness.
Yes.
Readiness.
And what's awesome about Garland is they have a 96% rate of ready CCMR ready, essentially.
And Garland ISD is in Texas, by the way.
Yeah, it's in Texas. Let's see. Here's Dallas. It is, I guess,
Northeast
of
People
Dallas.
listening
Yeah.
can't see what you're doing.
Yeah, sorry about that. Northeast of Dallas. Amazing district. They do a bunch of cool things, but I just think that CCMR is a really great stat.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about what about Garland ISD makes it such a great place for AP teachers and for students taking AP courses.
Yeah, for sure. It starts with leadership. I think at the end of the day, we have to learn and lead from some of the best, and I would definitely much respect. Shout out to Shea Creel and Saxe High School. They've been advocates for me throughout all these years. And shout out to Mr. John Hatch, just another name drop. He's our social studies supervisor for the entire district. Great mentors, people who I've learned under for years, who some have retired and moved on, and some, of course, are still with us. But yeah, I think that's where it begins. And just the standards, great community, good parents, people who care. And I think for, when you commit to an AP course, especially, or you really inherit and adopt the CCMR brand and style, there are expectations with that. And there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it. So
Absolutely.
I think we commit to that.
Well, and I think what you guys do for AP is awesome. The other interesting thing, it's school of choice.
Yes.
So explain to folks school of
Thank you.
choice. I beat Megan to the punch on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because naturally, enrollment has kind of tilted throughout the state, in many districts.
Yeah.
And when it comes to our enrollment, I think we're kind of stable for the most part,
Sure.
but we have opened up enrollment to even neighboring suburbs.
Yes.
As well as, of course, the Tri-City suburbs that we occupy, which is Garland, Rowlett, and Saxe.
Yeah.
But we do have students who come in from Wiley, from Murphy, from Richardson, and maybe even a little Mesquite and East Dallas.
Yeah.
So you have that interesting diversity of kids from all over who find the right programs that meet their needs.
Sure.
And naturally there's an adjustment phase and all of that goes into it. But yeah, I think a lot of districts are kind of moving to that because enrollment has been a tremendous issue.
Absolutely.
Since the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely seeing that change. CTE is also a huge thing in Garland. And hey, if the CTE director in Garland is listening to this, we would love to have you on because you guys do amazing things in Garland CTE-wise. And I think that's what's so cool is you balance incredible high expectations, college readiness with AP, plus you've got all this amazing CTE going on. So it's impressive. Superintendent does some great things.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a cool district for sure. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about APSI. So, UWorld, my team, we do all this great instructional material for AP teachers, which is great. I feel like you complement all of that because you teach teachers how to be the most effective instructors they possibly can be.
Yes.
So APSI, Summer Institute is what the SI stands for. And then you've done a bunch of them. It's for teachers. It's for AP teachers in the summer. It's like summer camp for AP teachers.
It is.
Yeah.
It is essentially.
And it's awesome. It's something that teachers have to either, get funding for and that's a challenge. But once they can make it to an APSI, they get to, learn from folks like you. They get to network with each other, which is tremendous. It's really a really awesome kind of deal. I guess my question in all that is, when you're meeting with all these AP teachers, is there some commonality of things they're struggling with, some commonality of their challenges? Yeah,
for sure. I think, first and foremost, it is like a true summer camp or enrichment, type of, cohort that we build, but we try to really build a sense of community. And that's kind of the first phase of it. And then as you kind of meet and greet and you start learning, that, we, in some cases, in some APSIs that I've had, there's 100+ years of experience just sitting in one room. So I try to be as encouraging and as readily available to listen and learn from different teachers because we all have different styles, that meet the needs of our kids. But the consensus of the challenge and the problems that we all see is pacing and scope and sequence.
Yep.
Those are kind of the big three that I've heard consistently, and even still fielding emails and phone calls, because we stay in touch. Even now, it's like, okay, so where are you at your pace now? Where should I be with my pace? Did you move this around from a scope perspective, or is you sequencing? What do you do in this with this lesson or this topic or this essential knowledge? So those are common questions that I think are going to always exist. And we can find nuance to fulfill those needs with our educators.
Every day, educators work tirelessly to keep high school students motivated. But despite their best efforts, too many students still feel lost in a system that doesn't always support their success. At UWorld, we believe education is about unlocking a future full of possibilities. That's why our team of educators created teaching and learning tools for the advanced placement exams. Powerful, easy-to-use resources that help students master even the most challenging concepts. Content that features dynamic visuals created by world-class artists and interactive elements that spark curiosity and a love for learning. Our mission is to help every student reach their full potential. Whether that means earning valuable college credit by excelling on AP exams or achieving their dream SAT score, UWorld is here every step of the way. Every day, across the country, students are using UWorld to turn their aspirations into reality. Discover how UWorld can help your students succeed. Visit collegereadiness.uworld.com to learn more. Megan and listeners who are like, what are they talking about with scope and sequence AP courses? The AP exam is in May.
Right.
Which is wonderful, but you have to have taught the whole course content.
Yes.
And then want some time there to review, to make sure they're solid on FRQs,
Right.
or for response essay stuff.
DBQs,
all that stuff. So what's your
a
advice?
DBQ?
Document-based question. So when
Acronyms
you're
everywhere.
what'd you say?
There's acronyms everywhere.
There's acronyms everywhere. We're all about our acronyms in education. So when you're helping and supporting AP teachers and they call you up or they email you and they say, Carl, oh my gosh, I'm only at this point of the year.
Right.
I need to be at this point of the year. What do you tell them?
So it's a great question. I actually really recommend blended learning, merging and combining different topics. So
Okay.
I will say, okay, well, if you're still lacking these particular topics, you can easily massage them and blend them together and marry this together so you can still cover it or at least hit the essential knowledge. So,
Gotcha.
or there could even be perhaps a video, that could be used to speed up that process of learning, or maybe even a graphic organizer, which can hit multiple things, So there's certain strategies that we do to
Speed 'em up a
blend,
little
to
bit.
speed them up a little bit. Yeah.
When do you recommend for AP teachers in any of these courses for them to be done teaching content and then shift over to, we got to get you ready for the exam?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's got to be April for sure. So I've kind of always used like the Easter Good Friday gauge,
Nice.
But of course that changes. Easter does change
Yeah.
every year. But tax day, April 15th
There you
is
go.
also another good, metric to say, hey, you need to be done with your
So
content.
teachers file their taxes,
Right.
and then make sure you've taught all your content.
That's it.
Those are the two
That's
things you
it.
need to make sure
Yeah,
you do.
for sure.
That's awesome. Any other challenges, scope, sequence stuff that you kind of see a lot of AP teachers bring into APSIs?
Yeah, it's, there's obviously every academic ecosystem looks very different. No climate is the same. Your community support or lack of community support, your culture, your local culture looks different in every campus. So I try to bring awareness to that too, because you have to, teach the content that fits your community, but still make sure you cover things in an efficient way. So, your delivery is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, like, especially with younger kids, you don't want to run them away, because it's too hard, but you want them to realize that, embrace the tough, embrace the suck a little bit, like it's
productive
part,
struggle.
I like
it's
that.
part of it.
Embrace the suck. That's good.
It's part of it,
Sure.
So, but it's not to run them away or even have them, completely quit.
Yeah.
But it's to tease the aspect that look at how much progress you've made. and you're getting stronger. You are getting smarter.
Yeah.
And look back to what we've already been through and how much we've covered, and see your own progression.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to know that I've taught like the valedictorian when he was a freshman or she was a freshman, or top 10%. Like, I remember that kid, and look at how much they've grown, since then. And I had a small part of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what teaching's all about, for sure. You had the opportunity to speak at like national conferences and stand in front of lots and lots of wonderful educators. Do you have kind of a consistent message that you share with them?
Well, so the topics have varied over the years. I was a part of the American Association for Geographers from 2015 to 2020.
Okay.
And so I had many public speaking engagements with them, the Texas Association of Social Studies Teachers as well, and the NCSS, which is the National Council of Social Studies Teachers. I've spoken at Columbia University, TCU, Rice University, SMU a couple times as well. So just been honored to share my research, whether it be through grad school or independent research, with whoever wants to listen. Most of my topics have been centered around some type of like global issues or global studies or gentrification or ways to provide cleaner energy. Very passionate about, especially my human geography kind of early beginnings with AP and being inspired with, like world travel and seeing ways that people survive and live. So a lot of papers or research topics were centered around that. So I think my narrative has always been more about, these are ways we can improve the world, and just different strategies and things that I've seen and places that I've gone to help, pursue that field.
You've done a lot of public speaking, and a lot of people struggle with public speaking. You got any big tips out there for how to be a great public speaker and how to present to, a room full of educators?
Yeah, I would just say just be natural, be authentic, but definitely do some homework prior. I feel that you have to be your prep. Your prep matters in terms of, how you plan, your own pacing with whether it's a lecture or even I've even recorded myself at one point, just to kind of hear my own voice or have somebody record me to say, okay, well, maybe you need to improve that a little bit more. Yeah.
You know who loves to listen to themselves on recording?
You?
Megan loves to listen to herself. No, I do not. I've had to learn to do it,
No,
just
I
like you
hate it.
learned to do it. But it's good for you. I mean, if you really want to get good at public speaking, you really want to get good on camera, you got to do the hard stuff.
No,
when Zach
thank you.
sends me the recording, I'm like, okay, I'll watch myself.
This is why I'm not on camera.
All right. So let's talk about the AP programs. 15 years, you've seen them evolve.
Yes.
Good, bad, how have you seen AP programs evolve? How have you seen AP teaching evolve over the last, 10, 15 years?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so every 5 to 7 years, roughly, there's a redesign. So I've gone through.
You don't have to tell me. Somebody who writes curriculum for AP, that is always a fun thing for me. Oh, hey, great. This course has decided to redesign. Wonderful.
Right.
Here goes our
Hooray.
year of production.
Yeah. It's tough because, I mean, you do plan and you prepare and you build out this full calendar or at least a semester calendar of how to properly, scope and sequence and pace and differentiate and all that. And then here's the redesign. Or maybe it's coming and they've cut off, tons of material or units. And that's fair to a certain degree, right? But one thing I am very proud about with AP is it is truly a cohort and a conglomeration of multiple teachers, professors who build the content.
Yeah, it's a combo of high school and college that kind of get together and decide some of the redesign stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you have a development committee with every AP course, and the development committee, the DC is what we call them. Yeah. I mean, these are the great minds. It's like a council of the great minds, and I feel that they do it justice.
Sure.
Is it perfect? No.
Sure.
But what is,
Yeah.
and that allows you as an individual teacher to add your own, flair and spice to some of the content as well. So I think they get it right most of the time, but it is challenging with the redesign. I have been a part of AP Gov redesign, AP Psychology, and AP Human Geography, and of course piloting AP African American Studies. That we were the redesign. So
you were the designer.
We were the design, yeah. And we've seen it, mutate and evolve, but it's also a privilege to do that because, I think for educators, we are content creators.
Right.
This is what we do. We're program managers.
Right.
We just don't go by those, those corporate titles, but that's what we're that.
Well, and I would tell an AP teacher who's frustrated about a redesign, hey, at least they're looking at it every few years.
Yes.
I mean, nothing's getting stale. They're able to make changes, and nobody's going to love every change.
Right.
But there's probably going to be some really good stuff on there.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. I mean, and those things, that are lacking or maybe a little insufficient, you can still add, we call it foundational knowledge. So you can still add additional foundational knowledge or tweak it, a little bit to enhance what is already there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so fascinated to talk to somebody who's been part of those planning meetings that have done all that. We've got folks on my team that will do AP readings and that sort of thing. And it's great because you go to the AP reading, and I tell all AP teachers, sign up for AP readings. Right. You're going to learn about the course. You're going to learn about changes quickly. You're going to get to work with a bunch of teachers and learn how to score essays effectively. You're going to make some money on the side, which is always nice. I mean, there's a lot of great things about doing it. But being a part of the change, I think that's the other thing is like people can stand back and just complain and complain and complain. Well, hey, get involved. Get involved on these committees. Get involved with APSIs. Get involved on, the AP scoring side of things, and you get to be part of, some of those changes potentially.
Yes, for sure. It's one of the best PDs you can ever experience.
Absolutely.
Going to an AP.
Megan PD
reading.
Is professional development.
She's got it.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. But yeah, it is. It's generally a week or maybe 10 to 14 days based on the amount of students who took the exam.
Yeah.
And we even have readers who are at home, who can read from at home.
Mm-hmm.
But again, being in that environment, and whether it's in Cincinnati or Kansas City or even Salt Lake City, where most of the readings are that I've been a part of or know of, you get that true empowerment of being around amazing professionals.
Right.
You get a chance to see student samples and scripts and how they understand the material, what was taught. And then most important, you get a chance to bring some of that knowledge back to your home campus.
Sure, sure. And your network.
That's right.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
What does an AP reader do? Do
Well,
they just read?
Yes, you do. Well,
Lots
first
and lots of essays.
you're trained
Got it. So they
on
grade.
like calibration first, where you try to get on the same page with the rubric, become one with the rubric, as they say. And then you go through the whole logistics of what to look for. We have an asset-based mindset, which is more, we're not looking to hurt the kids or take away points, but we're looking to see what the kids have learned and grant them points for their own learning.
Yeah, okay, you said that.
And it's an important piece in terms of having that asset-based mindset versus a deficit-based mindset of, there's spelling errors or punctuation or grammatical errors or no, this is not good. No, what does the kid know? Is it worthy of a point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Controversial question potentially. And I just did a solo one on AI that released, well, when you hear this, it'll already been released. But do you see College Board or do you see College Board basically replacing AP graders with AI anytime soon?
I sure hope not. But I wouldn't be surprised at the same time. I do think, we have kind of mutated into this digital age of AI, and we know it's real. Yeah. But at the same time, I think the human capacity to be more reasonable doesn't need to be deleted. And that's just my personal point of view. Yeah. I think, the human capacity to truly embrace, where that kid is at, and what they're inferring, or implying, even if it's, abstract or concrete, only we can do that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I haven't seen any reason, or I haven't seen any evidence to think that AI can do that. And I think on top of that, if College Board would move to a situation where AI was grading all these essays, I know it's expensive to have everybody come in and grade essays,
Right.
but man, you're missing out on such an opportunity to put these amazing AP teachers together in a room, fellowship with each other, improving their craft. I think you're missing opportunities by cutting that out.
Yeah, it's true. And that kind of network and ecosystem is what brings us back every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, so let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about equity in AP. So, I know you're a big believer of making sure that everybody has an opportunity, AP for all.
Right.
Every student deserves the opportunity if they have the desire and the passion to take an AP course.
Right.
With all that said, you'll get, typically students who are not, kind of this is an AP student, this isn't, for a variety of different reasons. When they come in and they're not your typical AP student, what do you do to keep them there? What do you do to make them successful? What do you do to make sure that they kind of went, all right, I'm going to try AP Human as a freshman.
Right.
What do you do to keep them when they're also in your, world history class, your African American studies class later on in high school?
Yeah. So it's just motivation and being, proud of the small and the big milestones that they accomplish. I envision kids right now. I can kind of see, faces that, okay, was this the right fit, And at the same time, you don't want them to be overwhelmed and struggle the whole way through.
Sure.
But you want them to challenge themselves and say, okay, well, this is what you did good. These are the benchmarks, checkpoints, progress checks, that there has been some level of growth. And I really try to magnify that and minimize some of the struggles. And then also recommend what I call my study tips and tools.
Okay.
So these are just different ways, whether it's changing your study environment at home, maybe putting down the phone, putting down the PS5, the Xbox, asking parents the same thing. What does the study environment look like?
Yeah.
Can you dedicate 30 minutes? I just need 30 minutes of your time after school, on your own. We recommend Starbucks. They just built a brand new Starbucks. Let's form a study group. Little things like that to continue to show that, okay, these are things you're going to have to do to hang in there and be successful. Yeah.
What I love is you're not talking, none of that was content related.
No.
How to study, how to take notes, how to work with your community, your fellow student to make sure you're ready for a test, all that sort of thing. So it's all those other skills.
Soft skills is what we call them. Yeah.
And you're teaching them, you're preaching them, you're pushing your kids, you're knowing your kids because you know what kids to push that on and what kids not. Yeah, I think that's great.
And these soft skills are transferable, and they transfer to every AP course, but also to your professional life. You have to have some level of organizational skills, communication skills. How do you take good notes? How often do you go back and look at your notes, And I feel that, if I'm so grateful that I learned those soft skills that I think are still transferable with me paying my bills on time, or just being fully aware of, the next thing coming.
Yeah. But you're not assuming they come to your class with those.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. So you've had 1 million students come your way. You have helped so many of them. We love to hear and brag about. We love to hear about AP success stories or just success stories in general for students. So kind of hitting on that last question, let me hear about an AP Human kiddo that you kind of looked at and were like, I don't know if this guy's going to make it, or I don't know if she's going to make it, and then ended up, being amazing.
Yeah. Well, I can name many, but I was thinking about just recently one young man who, African-American male, took AP Human, kind of struggled initially with just the buy-in and the want to, but stayed motivated. I stayed on him, stayed motivated. He graduated in 2021, I want to say, and I was at Spring Creek Barbecue.
Okay.
Got to have some good Texas barbecue,
Got to have some good rolls at Spring Creek Barbecue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tapped me on my shoulder. He said, hey, you remember me? Vaguely, but yes, because there's 1,000 kids at this point that I've taught over the years. He just graduated from Texas A&M Commerce.
Nice.
And is now working on his master's degree.
Yeah.
And just hearing that story, and he's an engineering major now, and he's just that buy-in and desire to keep on pushing forward is just there. And I'm grateful to know. I'm like, man, I see. The main thing I said was, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. Keep going.
Yeah.
No matter what. It's gonna be hard, but keep going.
Every educator has those situations where you are out in public and you hear your name, Mr. Brown, Mr. Bates, and man, you turn around, you're like, I recognize
I know you,
I
but
know
I just
you.
don't. Yeah.
Well, and sometimes it's 10 years later,
Right.
or 8 years later, and these guys have changed.
Yeah. I mean, full men and women.
Yes.
Yeah,
But they're so excited to see you.
They are.
And connect with you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long when they start talking when you kind of can remember exactly
That's
who they
right.
are.
That's right. They're definitely adulting now.
Yes.
And it's good to see them, and it's good for them to see me still, doing my thing. And I'm grateful to hear where they are now, where their journey of life has brought them. And again, I had a small piece in that.
Absolutely. You're so positive about education. You're so positive about working with students. There is so much going on right now, specifically in Texas, but I think nationwide. Some interesting legislation that's passed, some interesting things that's going on. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that, is making it really challenging to teach.
Yeah.
And to work in schools and to be a nurse and to do all kinds of stuff in schools and all kinds of things. How do you stay so positive, and what advice do you have for, I think, people who want to go into the profession? Kids are in college right now in your situation that are wanting to be teachers. What do you tell them to make sure that they're going to continue to move forward and wind up in a classroom?
Yeah. You got to keep the main thing, right? So whatever your mission is, your purpose, your value, keep that at the core. And if that is serving people, if it's teaching people, if it's providing some type of just support and aid, keep that the main thing. I definitely tell a lot of new teachers that, and realize, this is a marathon, so can you do 3 years? Can you do 5? Can you do 10? And yes, the money is the money. We have to have the money, and by no means education is the most lucrative,
Sure.
Profession, but it is truly rewarding, and we have the time off and built-in incentives of that nature as well. But and I would just really say, you can control what you can control, and you don't worry about the rest. Like I've learned over the years, I think I had a colleague tell me, you can allow a situation to be magnified, or you can minimize it. Mm-hmm. If it's petty, let's minimize that. And of course, if it demands more attention, or if it's correctable, let's fix that as well. Because I think what I've told many parents and colleagues, we're all on the same team. Like I'm not working against anyone. I want to make sure we can reach whatever standard or goal that we have set, and we can do it together without any kind of friction or animosity or even fakeness as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We covered a lot. We miss anything?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
Awesome. Yeah. Megan, what you got over there?
And now it's time for Megan's Moments.
Love it.
You're welcome, Carl. Thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge with us. I have a ton of questions for you.
Oh, all right.
I've got to minimize them, make a little less than what I've got, because I've got too much. I've got like a whole 3 pages.
Taking some notes over there, huh?
Yes, lots of notes. That's what I do when you talk. Okay. My first question is, what is your favorite content to teach and why? Like the Boston Tea Party. Like, what's your absolute favorite thing to teach?
Okay. Well, so can I give you multiple subjects? Because I do teach multiple subjects.
Sure.
I'll start with AP African American Studies. I really love the Harlem Renaissance. It is a beautiful era in human history. The richness of music and poetry, mm-hmm. and stories told by very, very talented people is to me, it's a new beginning of human history, a new beginning of America, what it means to be educated, what it means to be free, liberated, especially as an African-American male or female. So that would be, when we have, different lessons and topics, we listen to some jazz music. It's just a beautiful kind of subject matter that I enjoy. For psychology, I like to use the DSM-5 and have my students create a clinical psychological commercial over mental illnesses.
Wow.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy stuff now. But I love that. And what they produce is beautiful. So we're looking at multiple mental illnesses, one personality mental illness, one adult mental illness, and one like childhood mental illness. And they have to create a commercial about those. For human geography, I would probably say the Create Your Own Country project. So we look at all these different aspects of how they have to design their own country on population, literacy rates, birth rates, death rates, who do you want in your country, migration, immigration policies, laws. So their creativity just blossoms, and these are freshmen. So they tie in all the things we've learned and built their own country from that. Let me give you one more. Can I give you one more?
Oh, sure, yeah.
AP Gov, I would say legislation related to the Supreme Court. Create like a new Supreme Court policy and be able to defend it, justify, and explain it to the public is why this should be law.
When you're teaching government, AP government, is there that moment where where you see students kind of realize, man, this democracy thing makes a whole lot of sense?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, like a lot of the kids, they're really inspired to be a lawmaker, perhaps, and they kind of see the intricacies of gov and the whole development of the Constitution, the value of the Constitution, and how maybe some things may be outdated or need to be revised.
Sure,
but they can still see
the beauty of it. Yeah.
Yes, and what it really stands for at its principles and its core.
Sure.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, my next question. You had a large part in building the content for African American Studies. How did you select the content? How does the College Board do that? Like, do they say choose from here, and pick what you like best? Like, how does that process work?
Good question.
So a lot of it was a development committee, and there's a conglomeration of amazing professors and educators, high school teachers as well. And for us, so being in the trenches and boots on the ground, we saw things that could just add a heightened experience to it. So, and luckily they were open to our suggestions, College Board higher-ups and all those in power. So, for example, if there's like certain names that could be missing or could enhance the content and their works or their narratives or their stories of struggle, we were able to include that and build. Now, as a teacher, we still have to design, content that's related to it, whether it's some type of MCQs or FRQs, or even some type of project-based learning activity that goes around it as well. So there still it's a huge system of trying to find things that work as we enhance the names, places, events, people for that course.
Okay, my last question. I asked you to bring a song and try to stump me today. Can you give me the title of the song that you chose, and we'll see what I can do?
Well, do you want to set up why you're doing the singing?
Oh, yes. We're doing this because we want you to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, or else I'm going to keep singing every single episode. So,
until we get to how many?
Till we get to 1,000 subscribers.
So you're going to sing for our wonderful audience.
Yes.
Until we get to 1,000.
Yes.
And our wonderful guest, Carl, has picked a song for you to sing.
Yes. Let's hear it, Carl.
Title is Joy and Pain.
Joy, come on, and pain, yeah. Sunshine and rain, sing it again now. Joy. And pain, sunshine and rain.
Bravo.
That was amazing.
Yeah, bravo.
And she even had like choreography.
Absolutely.
And you didn't tell her before.
No.
Man, Megan,
Do you know
are
that song,
so
Philip?
talented. I have heard that song I've heard that song, yes. It's a good one. He picked a
That's
good
a
one.
good one. He did. And I got to do my little dance, but y'all don't get to see it
It was great.
because I'm a mystery.
You are a mystery.
I'm a mystery wrapped in a riddle.
All right. So I cannot tell you how much it fills my bucket when we have amazing guests like you on here. To hear a very, very dedicated, talented teacher come on and basically share all this positivity and all these awesome things going on in education. Not only somebody who's teaching the content, but you're a part of helping to build the content for all the teachers. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you being a servant for educators and everything you do and working with students. So I cannot thank you enough for being on here.
Thank you.
Very much enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. No, thank you. I really appreciate your time and just the opportunity.
Yeah, awesome. And hopefully, if you want to learn more about Carl, what's a great way to do that?
Well, you can always email me at brownconsultant2020@gmail.com. And there you'll find my website as well. And we can just have a nice dialogue over anything related to AP and content and empowering educators and students across the world.
Well, and hopefully, all these great AP teachers out there will see you in APSI someday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful.
Absolutely.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
Enjoyed
y'all.
it.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Hey, we love your comments. We love when you give us suggestions. If you know somebody who would be fantastic for the show, hey, drop us a line. We'd love to have them. If you think you'd be fantastic for the show, drop me a line. I'd love to talk to you. I want to thank my wonderful producer. I want to thank our wonderful technical folks. So Joe and Zach, thank you guys for doing what you do and making everything look fantastic. Remember, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So keep on pushing hard and keep on working hard and doing hard things. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a fantastic day. Until next time. The opinions expressed by our guests and hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views from Classroom to Campus, UWorld, or its affiliates. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please remember to subscribe and leave a 5-star rating that really helps us out. Thank you so much.